And it's the whole Kaizen principle as well, with just constant improvements, just constantly improving all the while, all the little things, just keep improving them, just so that you stay relevant and you stay efficient, and you're running along quite nicely with the market rather than being left behind.
Kylie and Brent Smith from Kiwitax. This is the Ryan Marketing Show, and this is episode 2 of 100.
Woohoo!
98 to go.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
How am I even going to do this? There's a lot of people to interview.
Totally. But you're a good talker, so it doesn't matter.
That's good. Except I'm interviewing. You're supposed to be doing the talking.
It's a joint effort.
So what is Kiwitax for people that don't know? What do you guys do?
We make accounting easy for people that were otherwise perhaps taken advantage of or not cared about by big accounting firms. Make it easy, affordable.
Yeah, stress-free. And making accounting more accessible to clients, because one of the biggest problems that we identified early in the industry is every time you phone your accountant, you get a bill. And so there was this massive barrier between clients and their accountants to communicate. And so right from the start, we created a policy that talking with us is always free, because we wanted to get that flow of communication happening with our clients. Because ultimately, if we can share our knowledge with them, they can freely communicate with us. It creates a better long-term relationship.
And was that there at the beginning of your business, or was that something you learned along the way?
Right from day one.
We saw at the time how some practices operated, and we decided to do it differently. We didn't feel they were looking after people as well as they could have been. And without sounding too horrible about those people, they were taking advantage of people quite significantly. We thought we could do it in a much kinder way.
Okay, so the business model at the time was to charge for advice. You gave that advice away for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was your service offering? How did you differentiate yourself?
Yeah, so our market was still the small business and rental property market. So businesses with less than $1 million turnover and people with, say, maybe up to 5 rental properties, that was the market that we chose to work for. And we knew that it was our job to have upfront pricing, because that was always another unknown with accountancy fees, is how much was it going to cost, and accountants could never guarantee it. So that was another one of our strategies, was to always be upfront and price our accounting so that people knew what it was going to cost them, and then it became our challenge to make it profitable for us in that price bracket. And that's where the skill set of Brenna came in, to develop our internal systems and processes so that the accounting team could actually become very efficient at what we do.
And consistent.
Absolutely.
And repeatable.
Yeah.
So you actually went first to the market and worked out, well, this is what we believe the market wants, some fixed pricing. They don't want to pay for advice, they want to pay for actual services that deliver them something. And if we're going to build an organisation around it for accounting, we have to work out how do we do that profitably, because that's what we know the market wants.
Yeah, basically. Whether we just knew that that's a way for us. And we also realised the wonderful nature of accountancy is there's longevity in it if you do it well, because it's something that as long as people are in business, there's always taxes to do. So we understood right from the start that there's potential to be in this business for a very long time. So we needed to make sure that every relationship that we built with a new client was going to be one that lasted a long time. So we're basically very aware of the lifetime value of a client and creating that goodwill right from the start.
Yeah, there can be a long lead-in time before clients become profitable. but we're happy to carry that and the knowledge that there is a long-term game.
Yeah.
And what's your average number of years an organisation is with you, or is it too early to tell that?
Small business is interesting because, there's many statistics that many clients don't even make it to the 5-year mark. So there's always, and New Zealand is one of the easiest countries in the world to go into business. So, and we're full of entrepreneurs. So there's always the new people going into business. There's the existing people that, keep tuning away year after year and it becomes a lifestyle business for them. And then there's the ones that actually consciously try and grow their business. So
there's a natural churn,
yeah.
But we lose very few clients to other accountants along the way. It always happens. For sure, people have different reasons. Like maybe they want someone local. They're an out-of-town client, so they'd like to talk to someone locally. Sometimes they just want to have a change, for whatever reason it might be. But generally speaking, if we lose clients, it's because they've had a change of circumstances.
Rather than a dissatisfaction of service.
Yeah.
So that's great for customers that are on board and that are satisfied with you. How do you get them on board? How do they find out about Kiwitax and Kylie and Brenna and the team?
Number one is we don't sell our heads as such. We don't sell our personalities. We sell our brand Kiwitax and our offer, which is basically and mostly via our website. Clients all around New Zealand and beyond. It's not really about us meeting people personally. It's just a case of selling to searchers predominantly. People looking for, we have a large info base of information on our website, and then Google Ads pointing people in the right place, so they find us that way. Paid searches, and that works. And we then we sort of build a conversation from there, and hopefully win people's trust, and
So you don't have a big sales force as such. You rely on the digital website and funnels to get your customers. Rather
than focusing on selling, we're focusing on helping people. And so we have people here that are dedicated, client care team, to just look after, answer questions, help people out. Yeah. And we go that way. And yes, if they've got sales questions, happy to answer them and provide quotes and all that kind of carry on and go from there.
Yeah, like Brenna said, we realised right from the start that it wasn't going to be sustainable for us to individually go out there and meet and greet people to encourage them to become Kiwitax clients. So it was like, okay, well, how can we do this in a sustainable way? So Brenna taught herself how to build websites, and using that skill set with our offer of talking with us is always free and our fixed pricing, blending those two together, that then created a funnel of inquiries through to us, which has served us really well. So we have been able to grow through that, and also client referrals. Yeah. So, but no, we don't have a sales force where we go out knocking on doors.
So you've really been able to reduce the cost of having people to acquire business, and instead have that scalable from day one using the digital side of things, and then use those same people to actually help customers once they come on board, so they always get that really premium experience.
Absolutely, yep. And that consistency of service, and it's economical for us to do it that way as well.
Right from the early days, we learned that people only buy from people they know, like and trust. So immediately we set about helping people, building trust, getting them to like us because we had something good to offer.
And also the give to get model, where we were quite freely happy to give our time and information to people to enter into a communication, and then hopefully a working relationship from there, rather than withhold information and make them pay for it.
So by having that information out there, what's an example of something that's a helpful tool or service that you've got on your site?
The GST calculator is pretty popular. Some of the other calculators as well. The info base has just got it's a real big long tail of different articles about all sorts of different things on that.
So there's an info base that covers lots of different areas of accountancy?
Yeah, just like general business questions, accounting, how do you deal with motor vehicles, or what's a debit and what's a credit, and just sort of knowledge, basically, like a knowledge base. that when people are searching, they can, here's a few topics on this particular subject.
Yeah, quite often, if ever we're having a conversation here about something a little bit curly, we should write an article for the Infobase, so we'll chuck it up and put it together, keep them brief and brief and easy to digestible chunks that way. Yeah.
And has that helped you on organic ranking by having all that content up there?
I think it definitely helps, yeah. Watching in the stats, you sort of see all the various different versions of questions coming through. Yeah. This whole the 15% GST thing was that really confused people because it was so easy before, just divide by 9, and then once the 15% GST thing, that's really common. People still getting their heads around how that works. So it's quite interesting to see, using the GST calculators and apps for that.
Now, that's on the outside of the business. What are some of the things you do inside with the people that are here that enables you to be Kiwitax and live to your values?
We care about everybody. We don't breathe down people's necks or monitor them closely what they're doing. Here's our systems, here's just the information you need to do your work. Give them really good training from the start and let them be autonomous. Let them blossom in their own way, sort of thing, find their own skill set, their own strengths.
And it stems back to right from the start, us having to create systems and procedures to be efficient and continuous level of service, because what that's done is every team member here is self-managing now because of that. So they have their own workflow, they're managing their workflow, so there's no micromanaging needed from us.
It's predominantly we have a pretty flat system here. We have people who have slightly more elevated responsibilities, but everyone's in charge of what they do. And their productivity can be monitored via our systems. We can sort of see.
We can get the metrics from the data.
And we also always know that there's always jobs that don't go so well. That's just part of business. But when we start seeing a trend in a certain direction, then we know sort of how to react from there.
Interesting. So you empower your people to self-manage and be responsible for their job, but at the same time, you have then the data to work out are things where they need to be.
Yes, but we don't. But at the same time, we don't super closely monitor this. It just sort of becomes obvious when things aren't going quite to plan.
It's also it may sound weird, but it's also a feeling where it's like I can get a feel for where people are at, and it's the interactions. You can sense the interactions that are happening amongst staff members or between staff members and clients. The way it's about building relationships, not just relationships with our clients, but relationships with our team as well. And then our team building relationships with all the other team members. So it's a very strong emphasis on empathy and compassion, and also treating everyone as equals. There's no one's better than anyone else. We're all here to do a job, and we're here to support each other. So it feels like a family. Really feels like a family.
From the early days too, we started with a win-win-win mantra, where the clients need to win. They need to get a good service. The people that work here need to win and have a good happy life, and also the business needs to win as well. Whatever level the business has goals on.
And that's just stuck with us from day one. So there's actually not a lot different that we do now than we did 16 years ago.
Wow.
Just more.
Yeah, just on a more bigger scale. And that's what I think has enabled this sustainability, because we created this infrastructure to be scalable, and that's what we've done. But we've also still stayed within our realm, all the while the accounting environment the landscape has changed over the last few years, especially with the introduction software as a service providers, Xero and now MYOB and other ones and so forth. So the landscape is changing, and we're very aware of that. But there's also still a lot of what we still provide to clients is still in demand, basically. So it's just given them another way to record their information and upskill themselves a little bit more. But yeah, we're still getting significant growth even though the landscape is changing around us as well.
It's about being just open to change, I think. Just being open and going, oh, well, how can we still help people with these things in play?
Yeah, and incorporate these new frameworks within our existing organisation. Yeah.
And on the market side of things, you're saying with software as a service and some of the technology side of things is changing. How does that impact the marketplace in terms of competitors who are also doing accounting? How is it playing out now, or is it played out in New Zealand? It's still playing out.
Yeah. So what's happening is the traditional accountants from days gone by, they never really liked doing compliance work, which is doing the annual accounts and the GST returns and so forth, and they weren't very efficient at it. And that's where we were able to step into that space in the market and do it very well. And as a result, they lost a lot of clients over the years because of that, not just to us, but other people that are in the same market as us. And now with the Xero and so forth, a lot of those accountants are turning their models around to become advisors rather than compliance. And there's room in the market for both of those things. Yeah.
Do you think there's a risk for some of some competitors who tie themselves to one SaaS offering or another that goes fully Xero or fully MYOB?
Yeah, that's what we right from the start of Xero is just like, yes, let's embrace this new technology and whatever people are using, but let's keep it wide open. We're not going to say you must use this, you must use that, or we prefer you use this or that. It's just however you want to bring, however the clients want to work, we adapt to that. If they want to bring a shoebox full of receipts in, fine, no problem.
And we'll try and improve them for next year to make it easier and cheaper for them. But
it's going to cost a little bit more because there's a lot more work to do. But if they want to use the latest whatever, then that's cool too, no problem. Anything in between, we adapt and not asking our clients to adapt.
It is an interesting question though, because a number of accountants have fully switched to software as a service, Xero or MYOB. It's untested yet because, don't know.
So it's still in play. Anything could happen. It could be a great thing, or it could be something that's going to cause some issues later on.
Maybe.
It's interesting with Xero not having made a profit yet. Yeah, it could still go away. It could be interesting. But
I hope not.
Oh, no, I hope not too.
No, absolutely. And they've got deep enough pockets not, but it's just like...
Yeah, everything's open to change. So it's an interesting thing.
But also in the landscape, MYOB, they got left behind when Xero burst onto the scene and fantastic marketing and everything else by Xero. But now MYOB have made a couple of key acquisitions and they're starting to run a little bit more parallel with Xero. So in New Zealand anyway, so the market space is... There's going to be a bit more comparison of choice rather than one product being just the almighty and the other one being inferior. So they're coming up to being of equal standing, which then leads to a question. MYOB is quite cheaper, much cheaper than Xero. So who knows?
And in the last 16 years, have you seen a point in time that's had this much change? Like, have there been challenges in the accounting space or opportunities as big as there have been in the last couple of years? No,
not really. It stayed very static for a while, and now also with the government spending a lot of money on the internal infrastructure of the Inland Revenue and upgrading their whole computer systems, that's going to bring a whole nother set of changes to the accounting industry as well, where there's going to be like more online filing. We do electronic filing already, but there's going to be more closer integration between clients and IRD and software providers and IRD and accountants and IRD. Because at the moment the IRD's computer system is very antiquated. So, as technology is improving at a government level, software level, we'll just keep moving with the tide, basically.
Every so often, every few years, something big does come along for sure, but it'll get sort of taken in stride, doesn't it? Just adapt and change and use and
There's been a lot of
yeah.
legislation changes over the last 2 or 3 years, more so than there ever has been in the past. But same again, just having good internal systems and being able to adapt those new policy changes into our systems pretty quickly. It means that everyone here is kept up to date with latest changes. Yeah.
And where do you want to take Kiwitax from here? It's 2016, we're at the start. What's in store for Kiwitax in 16, 17?
More of the same, but on a bigger scale. You know, we've got a lot of momentum, so we just want to be able to continue that momentum. We want to be able to start offering courses to get people in here and talk to them about setting up in business, or if they're just new in business, just giving them a bit of a rundown on things.
It would be nice if we did start moving a little bit more towards advisory things like courses, showing people how to do their business in a better way, in a more sustainable way, longer term way. That would be definitely something that we can move into, because we have always been very compliance focused, which is by design. But I think there's the opportunity now where we could start opening that out a little bit more.
Definitely.
I guess with these new offices in Hurry Napier, you've got far more room than you've ever had.
Yeah, definitely. We've got the capacity, you know, in the premises to do that. So it's constantly a work in progress, but it's trying to be sustainable the whole way through, because it's like, I call it the triangle. You have to have you have to balance cash flow with having enough work for your team to do, and then also having enough staff to do that work. So it's getting those three things in synergy with each other, because you can have a lot of work and no staff, or you can have a lot of staff and no money. So it's about trying to keep those three things connecting at an even level.
Yeah, it was a big challenge earlier on, was to balance our workloads through the year, being a 31 March kind of centric thing. So we've succeeded in that mostly now, where we have quite an even workload right through the year, that was quite a challenge to overcome, but got there in the end and tried some new things, and that was good. Yeah.
Having been through that process yourself, do you find that's invaluable when you're advising clients? Is that you've actually been through it, been 16 years in the business now? There's
just so many fundamental things, just basic stuff, that just core values and core, just stuff that I think everyone needs to do, and just to do well. And I think that fundamental stuff is so important, just to keep a business going along nicely. You know, if you just want to build a good, solid, ongoing business, I think you get those things right. It's a good way to be, to go from there.
And it's the whole Kaizen principle as well, with just constant improvements, just constantly improving all the while, all the little things, just keep improving them, just so that you stay relevant and you stay efficient, and you know, you're running along quite nicely with the market, rather than being left behind. It's pretty exciting. It's ridiculous to think that it's been 16 years, though. It's crazy.
Now, if people are listening and they're thinking, hey, this is some pretty interesting stuff, how do they get in contact with you? Or what's the easiest way if someone's thinking, hey, this isn't what I'm getting from my current accountant?
Yes, visit our website, kiwitax.co.nz, or even just kiwi.tax, that'll get you there.
Kiwi.tax?
Kiwi.tax.
Cool, mate.
Send us an email, everything's on our website. Get in touch with us and get a quote from there, contact us, ask questions, whatever you like. Or come in and see us in our Napier office, Ahuriri, Bridge Street.
Email service@kiwitax.co.nz.
Yeah.
On our website there's a request a quote page. So you can go in there, tick a couple of fields, a couple of drop downs, and submit, and that'll send a request through to us that, you know, you've requested a quote. Then we can get back to you and start providing you with a bit of information and a price based on what you've selected. So that's always a good way to make contact if you're just even if you're just curious about what you're paying now versus what it would cost with Kiwitax.
Or just ask questions, happy to answer.
And as long as your turnover is under $1 million as a company, you've got less than 5 rentals.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a New Zealand business, or can it be
New Zealand business? Yeah, because New Zealand tax laws.
But the owners can be overseas, no problem.
Yeah, for rental properties, owners can be overseas, not so much businesses. And we have clients with over $1 million turnover, but it's not really the market that we're experts in.
They can grow into that million.
Absolutely.
You don't take on the ones that are million.
If they come to us, yep, we will, but it's not something that we go out purposely seeking. And we'll always, if it comes to a stage where a client has grown too big for us, we'll have a chat to them then and maybe offer some suggestions that it might be time, or hey, we can still help you, or it might be time for you to, seek someone out that is, good at dealing with bigger businesses. So we're not afraid to, pass people on when they exceed.
Happy to work with other accountants as well. If we need to, we're happy to do their compliance work and they can advice and whatnot from another accountant, no problem at all. Someone who's more experienced than bigger clients.
Yeah.
So you actually work in a partnership arrangement where you
no
handle the compliance side and someone else handles the advisory, for example?
Yep.
Yeah, well, sometimes it actually makes sense because, like I said, the bigger accounting firms, they're not cost effective at compliance, and so but some clients like the advice that they get from them. So maybe the client could use them as an advisor and use us for the compliance. So it's just being a little bit smarter about what work's actually required.
But yeah, we're really set up to look after small Kiwi businesses, small Kiwi rental property owners, the guys that weren't probably getting so well looked after by the bigger firms, where they might have felt like they were a bit of a thorn on the accountant's side, perhaps a little bit. We love those guys. We love being able to help them. We love being able to sort them out and get them going the right track and make it easy for them.
Yeah, and just the you get we get a lot of feedback and very good feedback, and just the sense of relief that comes through from the clients. It's just like, oh, thank you, you've explained something that I've never been able to understand before, or oh, I get it now. And so just those are the rewarding moments when the clients are like, start to feel at ease that they actually know what's going on and they've filled in their blanks. Yeah.
And that's probably the secret sauce at the
plain English.
The plain English. The outcome is that feeling of relief.
Yeah.
The clients, they feel looked after.
Yeah.
They don't feel at risk. They can sleep at night.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big thing, being able to sleep at night knowing that everything's taken care of and all done properly. And, we're members of the Accountants and Tax Agents Institute of New Zealand, so we have a code of conduct that we have to adhere by. And, Inland Revenue treat us as approved advisors, so they put a lot of faith in us to look after clients. And it's our job to do that at a high level because, Inland Revenue can actually take away your tax agency if you're not performing. So, yeah. So it's in everyone's best interests, basically.
Very good. Well, thanks very much for your time today, Kylie and Brenna.
Welcome.
Co-CEOs, or how do you refer to yourself?
Whatever you want to say.
CEOs, founders.
We don't
we basically, we've been here 16 years, created it, and
we sort of shy away a bit from
titles.
So no titles.
No titles.
No titles.
No titles.
No.
So thank you, Kylie Berry and Brenna Smith on Kiwitax.
Welcome.
Thank you, Ryan.
If you like this episode, remember to subscribe for free on iTunes. Simply search for The Ryan Marketing Show in the iTunes Store.